To this now, the NGO ACT Now will be facilitating a Tavern Dialogue designed to educate and equip men to drive positive change in their communities. The dialogues are being rolled out to 20 taverns in 4 provinces during Women's Month. The Police Ministry will engage Cape Town residents on the active role men need to play in ending violence against women. Now let's discuss this. We're now joined by Chairperson of Mzansi ACT Now, Tebogo Lerole. Tebogo, thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. Now, of course, this is a commendable initiative and something that you have done before. Talk to us about what exactly do your visits to these various taverns entail?
I'll speak on today. Specifically, we are in Khayelitsha in Cape Town, and we were fortunate enough to be joined by the Minister of Police, Minister Tebogo, and the Deputy Minister of Police, Castle Matale. We are in partnership with the National Liquor Traders, and our bid is to obviously speak to tavern owners, shipping owners, speak to liquor traders on a national platform to say, we would like to convert your outlets or your businesses into safe spaces for women and children, and we also educate them on programs of violence. We're not saying that alcohol is the main cause to the violence directed at women and children, but we're saying we have many people consuming alcohol, and in the end, it perpetuates the violence targeted at women and children. So our stance is to obviously educate and eradicate GBV, but we can only do that by working together with communities, by empowering communities, and by also sharing the knowledge that we have and the understanding of what causes GBV. And hence why we've gone out to roll out the program nationally to speak to tavern owners. Once we get tavern owners or shipping owners in the fight against GBV, I'm sure we can lessen the challenges that most taverns are faced with. And you can imagine the police cannot be policing taverns and shippings or people drinking or consuming alcohol at shippings and taverns. But if we start with the property owners or the business owners to say, ensure and make sure that your spaces are converted into safe spaces in order for civil society to live freely within those spaces. And it also starts with us as a people or as communities to make sure that our environments are actually safe. I mean, we are aware of the tragedy that happened at NGO, and we wouldn't want to see a repetition of such a massacre happening once again. So we would rather create preventative measures in order to make sure that we create safe and conducive environments for our people.
I mean, you know, Tebogo, I know you don't have all of the solutions, but one also wonders in terms of just the conversation that you are having with people that are presumably consuming alcohol at the time that you are visiting them, what the kind of conversation that you have curated is and how effective it will be. I mean, as we sit now today, I mean, I was speaking to a criminologist yesterday, talking about the World Population Review. The stats are staggering against South Africa. We ranked 9th in the world when it comes to murder, when it comes to, and 4th when it comes to rape. I mean, those numbers are just staggering. Talk to me about just how you even begin, you know, having conversations with people in taverns and how you hope that message will then translate to them going home peacefully and not exerting any violence.
We've formed partnerships with bodies such as Santaco. We've formed partnerships with National Liquor Traders because they speak to a broader community or a larger percentage of patrons or customers that come into their outlets or that come into taxis. And this is for us to enlarge the voice of actually slamming or eradicating GBV. We want gender-based violence to get to an end. We want the numbers of young women and children raped to end, you know, and we can only do that by sharing this message. We can only do that by calling out the man and asking the man to also take responsibility. I mean, at the end of the day, we can ask the police, we can ask everyone else in the country, but the most important thing is it needs to start with us as men. We need to call each other as men. We need to have these conversations. We need to speak and man to man and men to boys to say, when does it end? No woman is free in this country. Most of the women that are from this country are afraid of traveling at night. They're afraid of walking down the street. And, rape is also very big in our bedrooms, where relationships are exciting, but you still come across couples that would still go and open up cases of rape, or you still come across women opening up cases of rape against their spouses. And we are trying to educate the men to say, you know what, at the end of the day, if it doesn't start with us, then we need to get to a point where we all come together and we stop or we end the violence. This is a message that was also shared by our minister today, to say we can fight the minister, we can challenge the police, but if we do not work together, if the community, if the police, if the government, if corporate South Africa doesn't come together and really looking into the challenge of fighting GBV, but as well, we also need to create conducive platforms or conducive environments where our young people as well are also educated and they're also empowered. We've got communities that don't have recreational programs. And what do we expect? Obviously, we're going to have challenges of young people going to places of adults where they get to consume alcohol. We will also have high numbers or high rates of young people getting pregnant. And these are all societal ills that at the end of the day, they form a large part of GBV or abuse directed at women and children. So for us as South Africans or as broader civil societies, from activists, from bodies that are already taking the fight on to fight societal ills, we really need to come together and find solutions that really help us to eradicate the challenges that a lot of communities that are disadvantaged are challenged with. We need to fight them head on, and which is why we are in Khayelitsha today, which is why this coming weekend we are in Thokoza. We are running programs where we give women programs of self-defense. We give women programs where we want them to know that there is danger around our communities, but this is how you can be safe, But at the same time, we're saying, yes.
Tebogo, thank you so much for your time. We really commend what you're doing. And you mentioned NGO Tavern. I'm hoping to see you in schools as well. I think this campaign is very necessary. Tebogo Lerole, he is the chairperson of Mzansi ACT Now. Thank you so much for your time this afternoon.